So for resources, we did mention a few, and I'm gonna go through a couple now. One great thing is just your browser. Everyone uses some kind of browser. Most of you are probably using Chrome, and Chrome is great. Chrome does have a built-in tool. You can right-click on. It's the sort of the developer tool. It's the built-in developer tool. What you usually get by most people are right-clicking on a page and saying inspect element or looking at something, using something in the right-click menu. What that can bring up is the built-in tool called Lighthouse. And Lighthouse has a speed SEO auditing tools, a bunch of, and they're simple. They're simple tools, but it's built in. You probably all have it right now. So, and even though you might not know that, and so that's a good one. It's a good kind of first step, and I'll show you a little bit more about it. Another tool is it's ANDI, Andy. That is actually an official federal government tool. The government built that. And you can get that for free. It's just a bookmark. You can Google it, Andy, accessibility tool. And that you add as a bookmark. So on any page you're on the internet, then you just access that bookmark and it will bring up a special toolbar for looking at accessibility issues. Another thing to think about is if you have a mobile phone, say you have a iPhone, you could just turn on the accessibility features in the iPhone and then kind of use it like you would, like a real person would be using those features and test your site. So that's kind of another just free way you can do that. Most people have some kind of smartphone in their pocket. So this is that Lighthouse tool. All desktop versions of Chrome have it, and it can simulate different devices. So you would right click, go inspect, and open Lighthouse, and that would bring that up. And it's going to give you a simple score and do some things. It will break it up into the major categories and kind of have a short explanation about what you're looking at. This is that Andy tool, and that has a toolbar at the top, and that will help you. Has a drop down. Right now, this drop down is on the structure, so I'm reviewing the headings of this page, but it has a bunch of tools in there for testing different things. It's very useful, of course, free. So the big one that we use a lot, and we've shown a bunch, is this tool called Wave, the Wave accessibility tool, and that is from WebAIM, like we mentioned that website before. It stands for Web Accessibility in Mind. This is a super useful tool. It's kind of my go-to tool. So you can go to webaim.org, and that website in general is just amazing. It's going to have news and training and tools, education, and especially this tool has a lot of explanation built in. So if it highlights an issue and you click on it, you can really easily click this button and it's going to explain exactly what it's talking about, why this is an issue, how you would fix it, all of that kind of stuff. And then the W3C is a big one too. They have a whole area. They have a whole area about accessibility. So the W3C is sort of the internet standards body, not really necessarily just accessibility or those types of issues, but all web standards. And they have an excellent directory of other tools. There's other tools they list. They list WebAIM and all these other tools I talked about, but they have tons of resources and training. A very interesting thing about this too that I like though, is it's really broken down by role. What is your role in the organization? Are you in marketing and sales and whatever, and in leadership? And it will give you information based on role, which is pretty cool. So for getting help, what is the next step for you? If you care about accessibility, you want to kind of get into it more, you want an audit, you want to get help. We covered some tools, and we covered sort of almost what I call kind of the nerd tools. They're a little bit detailed, and they are fine-grained testing tools you can test a lot of things with. And I cover those because they really do work best. We mentioned a little bit that some of the flash whiz bang simple tools, it's just like 1, 2, 3, click and you're done, don't really work that well. They miss a lot of things. I just know that because I've done a side-by-side and sometimes ran those reports and then done a manual report. And the difference between a real human doing manual work and some of these simple tools can be big. It's not always big, but oftentimes it's big. The very best advice I can give you when you want to go to the next step and kind of test things is, work with some type of expert, find an expert, or get help from your agency or an agency, or kind of have someone really go through this stuff. Because even if you do get a very good comprehensive list of issues, what do you do about it? How do you fix those? What do they all mean? Especially, what is the priority, which is a really big thing for us. If we do an audit for a client, there's always going to be way more than they can probably handle, right away. So what is the priority of these items? What is going to provide your visitors the most improvement in the experience? So if possible, of course, work with an expert.